we survived winter, thank goodness. So it's tempting to spend some time outside soaking up the sun, but it could come at a cost. Dr. Stephen Schumer, head of dermatology at Beaumont Hospital, joining us this morning to share some sun survival secrets, some secrets revealed. Dr. Schumer, thanks for being here.
Oh, my pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Early. We know you're busy at Beaumont. So the first thing we want to talk about is protecting ourselves from the sun. And we know the basics. We know that we're supposed to wear sunscreen every day, right?
Absolutely.
On a regular head to toe?
Yeah, all exposed areas.
Okay, all right. And what about that sun protective clothing? Is that something that's actually effective? You see that on the market?
It's really effective. It blocks out about 97% of the ultraviolet rays can be blocked out with good sun protective clothing.
But if you're wearing clothes anyway outside, don't your regular clothes block out the sunlight?
Not to the extent that certain clothing with certain fabrics that are made specifically to block out ultraviolet rays can do.
So I guess it accounts for the weave and the color. I mean, if you're wearing crisp white clothing, that'll help to reflect some of the sun as well.
That does.
Okay, when it comes to sunscreen, we see many different varieties, all kinds of different SPFs and different chemicals. Is there one in particular that we need to look for? And here we're seeing sunscreen on the kids, but I mean, does one sunscreen work for the whole family?
Oh yes, I think, sunscreens that have our broad spectrum that block out both ultraviolet A and ultraviolet B rays are the most effective one we should look for. And the ultraviolet A blockers, especially zinc and titanium dioxide, are probably the most effective.
And the difference between ultraviolet A, which is the one that causes wrinkles and which is the one that causes the cancer?
Well, they both actually promote skin cancer. Ultraviolet B promotes sunburn. Ultraviolet A penetrates a little bit deeper and is probably more responsible for collagen breakdown, wrinkles, and some discoloration.
Okay, let's talk about moles and speckles and freckles and all those things that many of us have on our bodies. What do we look for, and when should we get these checked before we go through the whole Michigan summer, or should we wait till fall to get our spots looked at?
Well, really, the time of year is not as important as doing it on a regular basis. Probably once a year is usually recommended.
Okay.
You could think about your birthday time, check your birthday suit around once a year.
Okay.
But then in between, if one notices moles changing, darker, larger, becoming irregular in shape, or anything that might not heal, scab or bleed, don't wait for that yearly visit. Please call and get changing lesions checked when they're noticed.
Okay, especially if you have even a tiny speckle that's bleeding a little bit and it won't seem to heal, that could be a sign of a basal cell carcinoma or worse.
Oh,
right?
Absolutely. I think non-healing lesions, anything that might scab or bleed, early detection and catching those things early make them very amenable to treatment.
Now, there's an interesting sort of, we're in a bit of a dilemma because we're trying to get more vitamin D by getting more sun exposure. We're told that we need that, but we're also saying you can't get sun exposure because it will give you skin cancer. So what do you tell your patients about that?
That is a big debate. A lot of people feel that you will get appropriate absorption of vitamin D with sunscreens. My patients that are concerned, I tell them maybe 3 times a week for 10 minutes, expose certain areas of your skin, maybe your arms and legs, and then you get certainly significant vitamin D absorption that way.
It doesn't take much.
It doesn't take much.
Okay, let me just tell everybody where you can learn more about surviving in the sun. You can get your questions answered today, 12:30, Orchard Mall Center Court. That's on Orchard Lake Road in West Bloomfield. All of the information is on the mornings page at myfoxdetroit.com. Dr. Schumer, thank you so much for being here.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
Good information. All right, Lee Thomas.
Hey, Deena, I have some movie fast